Hello world, I'm Colleen and welcome to my glamorous life. If you don't know who I am, I'm an almost 50-year-old mom of 3 teenagers, here to give you helpful tips and tricks and honest reviews. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, do me a favor and click that subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon for notifications. Today, I'm going to do a shopping on the town look, just a super casual look. And since we're down to doing one makeup look a week between now and Christmas, I thought I would give you from start to finish. Instead of just focusing on the eyes, you're going to get to see what I'm doing for foundation, what I'm doing for blush and highlighter, and the whole 9 yards. So let's get to it. Okay, so to work on our shopping look today, I'm gonna first put my hair up. We're gonna do start to finish today because I'm only doing this once a week. So some people have asked to see the whole thing instead of just my eyes. So here we go. So my skin is so dry right now, okay? I just started using a very mild retinol. I've been using the Versed retinol serum, and I know that makes my skin dry to begin with, but then our weather has been so wacky in California, Northern California. I always say Mother Nature is bipolar, but we have gone from days of like triple digits to days of like 30 degrees in the morning. And right now it's been hovering between like 39 and 59, which for my skin is horrible. I much prefer a slightly more humid environment. So what I'm going to start with today is, and I picked up the wrong foundation. I did. Okay. What I'm going to start with today, and I'm going to go really light because we're going shopping today. So I don't need like a full beat or whatever. I don't want to like be sweating in the stores and what have you. And with my skin being so dry, I'm just going to go with something really light. So I'm going with the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. And this is in the color Beige Camel because apparently my face is the same color as a beige camel. It looks a little dark when I first put it on, but that's only because it is a tinted moisturizer type foundation. It's not a full coverage. It's meant to blend into the skin a little bit. So I'm just going to put it on with my fingers, starting kind of in the center of my face. And you can see I've got the little post-holiday breakout going on here. And part of this is because my face is so dry. When you're over 40 and your hormones start shifting and everything, your skin starts getting drier and it doesn't exfoliate quite as well. And so for me, that has always meant that I break out. So I had this tiny little breakout out here, and I love the Mighty Patch microneedle acne dots. They actually have saved my neck a couple of times, or my chin as the case may be, because I get like cystic acne. I only get like onesie twosies when I get it, but it's like painful and swollen. And this has the microneedles that kind of puncture the surface of the skin and allow that salicylic acid to get down into the thing. And they shrink up pretty well. This is actually 3 days old, and it's just a little red dot, pretty smooth now, but it's a little red dot I'm gonna have to cover up. So now I've got my foundation on. That's all the more I'm going to use today in the way of foundation. However, I've got to cover the lack of sleep. So, put my foundation up. I have Laura Mercier Flawless. What is this? Hold on. Colleen seriously keeps saying she needs glasses. Well, I happen to have a pair right here. This is the Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer, and this is in 2.5W. I don't normally wear a warm undertone for a lot of things, but I find that the slight kind of pinkish, I can talk this morning, pinkish, oh boy, pinkish, peachy kind of undertone in this kind of helps neutralize a little of that bluish color under my eyes. And this is dark enough that it will kind of blend into my skin without, standing out really bad. And being Laura Mercier, it's also a little hydrating, which is good. And it's kind of self-setting, so I don't have to use a lot of powder, if any. Though I am, because I like to. So I'm just tapping that under my eyes with my ring finger. You always want to use like your ring finger or your middle finger because they put less pressure than anything else. You think it'd be your little finger, but your little finger will really drag at the eye. So your ring finger is probably the best because it doesn't really drag at it. As you can see, I don't have quite so bad a circle anymore. So now we're going to move on to powder. And I am going to stick with Laura Mercier for my powder. This is her translucent setting powder. This is like the holy grail for just about everybody when it comes to setting powders. It's super fine and just dabs into the skin. And what I have is a Juno & Company Micro Suede beauty blender. And I leave it dry for this because it's super, super soft. It's micro suede, so it acts kind of like a powder puff, but I can also bounce it like a blender. So I'm gonna just pack that onto the tip of it, kind of knock off any excess. But I'm just gonna right under my eyes here and all over my cheek, just to set everything, make it look smooth. You can kind of see the difference between the two sides. This one, it's still kind of glowy, but it's not like flashing in your face. So that's what I'm gonna do all over here, so. Once again, you can see I'm putting it on. You can kind of see where it hits, like right up here. But as I press that Juno sponge in, it kind of blends away. Now I can see already that my little spot on my forehead is going to give me a little bit of fit. So I'm going to add just a touch more concealer over it. Even though I've just put the powder on, I'm just going to barely touch it. See that? And then with my ring finger, I'm just going to tap it very gently, kind of blend it out, and then I'm going to hit it with that powder one more time. This is a little trick for concealing things. If they don't conceal with that first run, you can build layers, just like with your eyeshadow. You can build layers with foundation or concealer, but you want to be careful so it doesn't look cakey. You really want to make sure you just kind of feather those edges out. So that's my foundation for the day, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes and then my brows, and then we'll do the contour and everything else. So let's transition into brows. Okay, so I have an interesting brow cocktail now. For those of you who've seen my Friday mini with the brows, I had used Completely Benefit. Well, today I've got a quad that I've been using. This is the Precisely My Brow Pencil in the 2.75 Auburn. Not that you can actually see it, but it's there, that pencil. And then I have the Arches in Halo by Tanya Crook Professional Brow, and that is also in Auburn. And then I have a combination. I have the Arches in Halo Tinted Brow Mousse and the good old Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Dip in the, or brow gel, I guess it is, both in Auburn. And let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, so step one is going to be to kind of define the under edge of that brow. Like this. Just want to give it that sharp line right at the bottom. So you can kind of see already I've kind of put a frame on my eye by just putting that line there. And then I'm going to frame the top where I want it. Now I'm really sparse on the top here, and I want my brow a little thicker, so I'm going to kind of go outside the line of the hair just a bit. And at that point, right here, where if I put the pencil in the corner of my nose and I'm looking at you, if I'm looking at the camera correctly, it should be the outside of my pupil up to that little arch. I'm going to drag that arch down now and kind of blend it into the tail. So now I kind of have the shape of an eyebrow going on, but nothing's filled in the middle. Now, the next thing I want to do, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel here, and I'm going to kind of back comb my brows. You know, we back comb our hair to give it more fullness. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing with my brow here. You can see as the hairs kind of stand up, they're a lot longer and a lot more of them than it looked like I had before I did this, right? Looks like I have a little more brow going on there, see? Yep. Light here is horrible. Let me turn that off for a minute so you can see it. See? And that's just with the gel. So let me turn my light back on and blind myself. Now I'm gonna go back in with the Arches and Halo pencil now and kind of fill in as I need to along that track. Oops, this way. And I want to be a little lighter toward the front and a little heavier toward the back. So I'm just barely touching here, shaking my camera. There we go. Just filling that back. Okay. Then I'm going to take the Arches and Halo mousse and I'm going to kind of put the brow where I want it. And in this case, we're going to kind of sort of try and laminate it going up more. Some people actually pay money to have their brows, quote, laminated, which means they pay to have them like perm sticking straight up. I don't think I have enough brows for that, for one, and I'm not sure I like the look completely, but this gives me a little more fullness in my brow. Let me hit the front here. And the combination of the two brow gels, the brow mousse and the brow gel, it gives me a little more control, because I find the Anastasia Beverly Hills doesn't necessarily hold my brow where I want it, and the Arches and Halo just gives it that little spot. And the Arches and Halo has a smaller brush, so I can catch every little tiny micro hair. Okay, so let me turn the light off and get up close here so you can see. Okay, there you go. So you can see this is my brow. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other one off camera, and then we'll get into the eyeshadow. Okay, so I've got both brows on now, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with my Morphe. This is a very well-loved tube of the Morphe, put the right way so you can read it, Morphe eyeshadow base. Absolutely love this one because everything stays put with it. And if you're like me, if you don't put anything on your eyes, you end up with that lovely little crease of eyeshadow in the middle because your eyes just, no matter how dry your skin is, your eyes just kind of get weepy and oily during the course of the day. So once again, I'm putting that on with my ring finger and just letting the temperature of my skin kind of move it around a little bit. I don't want to like I don't want to pull on my eye so much right now. I just want to very lightly blend that in. Now, because I'm wearing this beautiful aqua color sweater to go out shopping today, I thought I'd do kind of a blue thing. And I have the Illuminati X ISA palette that has all these beautiful colors in it. And it might help if I turn that off for a minute so you can see. This beautiful little pale blue here and this bright blue just kind of caught my eye today, so I think we're going to go that way. So the pale blue is called Riri, and I'm going to take my what I call my fluffy flat brush. It's kind of flat this way and super fluffy that way, and this is a Morphe. Once again, I don't know numbers because I don't pay attention. I'm going to go into that Riri here, and I'm just going to kind of pack that around my lid. You can see this is a really soft blue, which I kind of like because it just, some people are scared of blue. They think, oh my God, blue eyeshadow 1970s. Well, it depends on how you put it on, I guess. I remember I used to babysit for this gal, and I thought she was the most glamorous person in the world, and I was babysitting while she was going out clubbing apparently, and all she had was the Maybelline eyeshadow trios in blue. And I don't know if you remember those. If you're my age, you'll remember them. If you're not, you won't. But they were the three eyeshadows. It was like the lid color, the crease color, and the highlighter, and that's how you put it on: lid, crease, highlighter. And she had multiple versions of this, and I think that's all she wore. But you know, in the early mid 80s and stuff, I thought it was super glamorous. Now we look back on it and go, oh my God, that was horrible. But you know what? Blue eyeshadow doesn't have to be horrible, and that's what I'm trying to get across to you here. We're gonna do a couple of blue eyeshadow looks this holiday season because next week is the beginning of Hanukkah for all my Jewish friends. And what is more appropriate to Hanukkah than blue? Don't ask me why, because I'm not Jewish, and I'm sure one of my Jewish friends will inform me. But I have always been fascinated by all the beautiful blues that you see in Hanukkah decorations. Now, we have that on. We're going to go into the deeper blue now, which is called, I can't find my brush. No, it's not called I can't find my brush. Okay, I'm going to go in with a really fluffy brush now into the deeper blue, which is called Azul or Azul, depending on if you speak Spanish or not, which, by the way, means blue in Spanish. And this is kind of a shimmery royal blue, and I really like it. Then I'm going to tap off any extra, and we're going to do our little trick. We want most color out here, so I'm going to set the brush down here, and I'm going to very lightly windshield wiper that into that crease, just to deepen that up. And we're going to do this a couple of times because I want to build that up. There we go. And that's it. Just going to do it twice. Give it that little bit of depth. I don't want to go all out. This is more of like a daytimey look than going out on the town look. So I want to keep it kind of light. Now I am going to go in with a different fluffy brush into the color, as I drop the palette, Colombiana, which is this bright white here, and I'm going to use that for my brow bone today. And bright white is another one that people get scared of because they're like, oh my God, it's white, it's going to show off everything. No. If you do it light-handedly with a big fluffy brush like this, you can really kind of highlight that brow bone. See the difference there? Without going overboard. It doesn't have to look like clown makeup. That's something that everybody assumes, that the second you hit white, it's like clown makeup. No, if you go light, it'll be fine. Now I'm going to take one of my flat, well, this is an angled flat liner brush, see? And I'm going to kind of do a deeper blue line right on my lash line here, and a little bit under the edge here just to catch all that with that Azul again. Now for this, I am going to kind of stretch my eye just a little bit because I want it to get all in there, and I've got kind of creepy eyes, and if I don't stretch my eye a little bit, it doesn't work. And that's okay. You know, they always say don't pull in your eyes, whatever. Sometimes you have to if you're putting makeup on, because you don't want, it just looks worse if you leave it on top of the wrinkles and it doesn't go down in. But you can hide them sometimes by stretching it out and putting that down inside. Now this is a really light color when you put it on. It's got a beautiful pigment to it, but it's not in your face. The other side. Oops, bump the table again. Sorry, I keep kind of bumping the table and knocking you guys silly there. With that new Jeffree Star with the Cold Digger, that brown one. Let me grab that real quick. I have this lovely shelf full of makeup. As I drop everything, I have this lovely shelf full of makeup over here, so it makes it easy. So I kind of kept it in the box because I think this is so neat. That way I can tell which one it is. Now, if you haven't checked out my tutorial on this Jeffree Star eyeliner that he's come out with is, I have a love-hate relationship. I love to be able to blend my pencil eyeliners. This stuff doesn't blend. It stays put. I'm not kidding. You watched my tutorial. I slept in this stuff and it didn't move. Not overnight, it was just a nap, but it didn't move. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm rubbing at it and it doesn't move. So I'm going to use this to tightline my upper lashes with, and maybe my lower lashes. We'll see how I'm feeling when we get there. And it's a twist up, which is really nice. This just gives a little more definition to the eye, if you can see the difference between the two right now. So we're going to go into this one. Tightlining is a neat trick. You can do this with like a black or a brown eyeshadow if you want it. Just kind of get that flat liner brush and just jam that color right into your lash line, and it'll help give you that little bit of definition. Now on the lower lashes, I'm not going to really go in the waterline. I'm just going to go on the edge of that waterline, right on the edge of my lash line here, because I don't want to close my eye off too much, but I want to give it a little definition on the bottom. So I just kind of pull my eye down just a hair and literally right on the root line of those lashes. See that there? We're gonna pull that in. And I'm not kidding, this stuff will not move. If you want a pencil eyeliner that isn't gonna go anywhere, Jeffree Star. If you want a pencil eyeliner that'll blend, not Jeffree Star. Okay, so that is our shopping look. It's kind of a bluish vibe going on. I'm going to throw on, what do I want to do today? I'm looking at my mascaras over here. Actually, I think I'm going to go with my Trestique. This company does, they do like cream makeups in the big pencils. Like I have their contour pencil, and you can get sets like this with pencil, highlighter, foundation, and all this. And this is their mascara, which I kind of thought it was interesting. It came in one of my boxes, and on the tip here is an eyelash curler. I want you to look at this eyelash curler, okay? Wait a minute. Come on, focus, 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 focus. It's not gonna focus for me. Let me do this. Nope, that's not gonna help either. Here, get a little more light. Okay, if you look at that, see that? Okay, you see how small that is, right? Let me show you this in comparison to my trusty dusty, well-loved. Look at the difference in size on those pads. How, I hate the curler on this. I wanna ask the Trestique people, how are you supposed to curl eyelashes with this? Because I can curl like half this way, and the middle's left out. It's too small. I mean, look at this compared to my eye. It's too small. It is way too small. Look at that. I can't even get my lashes on it. So I don't bother with the curler on it. But then I don't usually have to curl my eyelashes either. But the formula of the mascara is actually pretty good. It stays put. It's a little stiff, which I find a lot of times if you want a mascara that's gonna stay, your lashes tend to be a little stiff with it. But yeah, it's very hard to find one where your lashes really stay soft that doesn't move. And for those of us who have older eyes that tend to get a little weepy during the course of the day when we get tired, or you have a hot flash, you don't want your mascara to move because it's gonna end up on your cheekbones. There's my dog in the background again. So I don't necessarily like the feel, of stiff lashes, but if I want my mascara to stay put and I don't want to have to touch up my makeup later, a good one that will stay put is what I want. And this stuff does stay put, I have to say. I mean, for all my hatred of the eyelash curler on it, it does stay. Pardon me while I make the mascara face. I think the mascara face has contributed the most to my Marion outlines. Okay, so there is our eyes for shopping done. Not too bad. Blue eyeshadow, and it doesn't look like I'm going out to a stripper bar. Okay, so now though, the rest of my face is looking totally pale, pretty much a lack of definition. So we're gonna grab a blush and highlighter palette, and I think I have the perfect one that I want to use today. This is the Phase Zero Blush and Bronzer Palette. I don't know if there's an actual color on it because it honestly doesn't say. I've looked for it and haven't been able to find it, but it is this beautiful cool toned contour and these peachy tones, kind of a peachy tone bronzer and a peachy tone blush, which I absolutely love. So I'm going to take a small little powder brush here to do my contour with today. I just washed a bunch of brushes and they're still drying. So I'm just going to get my contour in where I normally would, which on me is from about the end of my eyes back here. That's where my cheekbone naturally shadows. And that's the tip with contour is you don't want to try and, unless you're on stage, there is no reason to carve out where you want the bone. Follow your own bone structure. Some people have wider faces, rounder faces, but you know where your cheekbone is. If you can kind of angle your head so you can kind of see where that small shadow falls. My shadow falls kind of right here on both sides. That's where you want to put that. Now, if you don't have, you've got a very, very round face and you don't have that, you have a certain leeway with where to put stuff, but you want to be careful not to make it look like a clown stripe. You want to, whoops, I have my phone on. Sorry about that. You want to make it blend very well. So that's what I'm doing here. Now I have a very high forehead, so I tend to hit my temples to kind of narrow right above my temples because you start sinking in here, but I want the sinking to be up here. As we get older, we lose fat in the upper portions of our face. It all sags down, so you start getting the little jowl lines and stuff. So I want to raise that up a little bit. So I go right on the top of my temple, and then I go right around my hairline here because I have such a tall forehead, and I always have. This isn't like tension hair loss or anything. I just always had a forehead, what Tyra Banks calls a 5-head. Very tall foreheads, and I used to hate it, but now it's kind of grown on me. But I still like to minimize that shocking because I like to pull my hair back in a ponytail, and it's just like, all forehead, no hair. So I do kind of minimize that. And then I do like to take a little bit down my jawline here just to kind of strengthen that up because, like I said, that fat that's supposed to be up here has started sagging down here a little bit. Not much I can do about that short of having more injections or threads or something, which I'm not quite ready for yet. Now I'm also going to hit the sides of my nose just to give my nose a little more definition and hide the fact that I broke it twice as a kid because it is slightly crooked. All right, now I'm going to take an actual blush brush, and this is kind of a fluffy angled blush brush, and I'm going to hit that bronzing color in the middle here. And I'm going to tap it off really good, and then I'm going to go right above and around. So right above where I put that contour and around my forehead here on both sides. And I still haven't turned my phone off. I'm going to turn that off. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to take a little bit across the top of my forehead, down, and across my chin. Not a lot, just a little bit of contour. And I'm going to take that same brush, and I'm going to go into the blush now, and I'm going to hit the apples of my cheeks. Now, one trick that I learned is if you go like this and you put your blush on, it's going to end up down here. So I do it with my face fairly neutral so that my blush stays up. So it always looks like my face is lifted. It doesn't, like if I put it here, see where the brush is? And I go like this, the brush drops. So if I put that down here, then the color is going to be down here and it's going to look like my face is sagging. But if I put it up here, it keeps that lift going in the face. And that's what we all want at this age, is lift. Even if you're not this age, it's a good trick to get into, good habit to get into. Now, my mom always says I never have enough blush on, so I always feel like I look like Ronald McDonald when I go out the door with enough blush on, because my face just kind of swallows it. But I think I have enough on now. All right, now, so far, we have our contour, our blush, our bronzer, our eyes. I am going to take my setting spray now before I get to my lips, and I am going to spritz off. And I absolutely am in love with the Morphe Continuous Spray setting spray. The original, this is like a limited edition bottle that I got. But I don't like a scented setting spray just because I want to be able to smell what I'm eating or what I'm drinking, not what I'm wearing on my face, if that makes sense. But if somebody else were to come out with a continuous mist like this, I would be willing to try it. But I haven't seen it yet. Not one like this. It's not full of fragrance or anything. I like it. Okay, so to do my lips, the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is I'm going to put on a lip balm, and I got this in one of my boxes. This is the Kosas Sport Baseline Hyaluronic Lip Balm, and I've fallen in love with it, though I think it's like $20 some odd, so it's not like the ideal. My backup, which is really bad, this is like $4 or $5 or less. This is the raw sugar, and this one happens to be lemon. I don't know if you can see that. That's my backup. But since I got it in a box, and I'll probably never buy it again, though I absolutely love this because of the hyaluronic acid, I'm going to put this on my lips before I put my lipstick on to keep my lips from looking too dry underneath, because they're really dry right now. And this one has like I want to say it's like a minty scent to it, but it doesn't stay. You know, sometimes you put the mint lip balm on and you feel like you're walking around with a peppermint on your face. Not this one. Okay, let me figure out my lip color here and jet to my handy dandy makeup shelf and put something on it. Okay, so you probably saw this in my Kaja Cuties review. This is the Heart Melt. What is it called? Heart Melter lip color, and this is their the color Crazy For You, and it's super cute. It's a little push button to raise your product up, and it's a little heart. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little heart. I like the heart shape, which I thought it was kind of gimmicky, but I can take the point of that heart and hit the Cupid's bow. Super easy. The other thing I like about this is that while it's a lip color, it's very creamy, almost like a lip balm as opposed to a lip color. And when my lips are this dry and my skin's this dry, putting on a matte lipstick or a darker color lipstick, it's going to immediately run into all those little vertical lip lines that we all get eventually, and I've got them early. So this is just, and it's not a super intense color at all. I like it because, like I said, it's creamy. It's almost like a lip balm. And right now, when you go out and go shopping, you're going to have to throw a mask on anyway. So nobody's going to see your lips. So why bother doing it? Well, using a moisture-rich product like the hyaluronic acid lip balm or the raw sugar with shea butter lip balm, at the very least, is important because it'll keep your lips moisturized. This right now, with the color over it, if I happen to be somewhere where I'm getting ready to eat lunch or whatever, I take my mask off and it'll look okay. You know, as long as your lip mask isn't right up on your lips. But I know I've put lip color on, and that's the thing. Sometimes it's all about how you feel, whether or not anybody ever sees you. Like if I don't go anywhere today, if I just sit around the house, if I sit around the house with no makeup on, it's usually a slug day. That's what I call it. I'm like slug a bed, slug on the couch. I'm not doing anything. But if I take the time to get up and do even the bare minimum, which would be like my eyebrows and maybe a little mascara and something on my lips, I feel better about myself. It's personal to each individual, but I know there are women from my grandmother's era that would never leave the house without at the very least putting lipstick on. And me, I couldn't leave the house without putting my eyebrows on. But it's those little things that perk you up that are important, especially during the holiday season, and especially since we're in the middle of a pandemic right now and our holiday seasons are so different than they've ever been. So this is my finished look. I haven't really done my hair yet for the day, so it's kind of stringy, but that's okay. For going out shopping, just an everyday shopping look with a blue eyeshadow. So I hope you enjoyed this today. I know it's a little longer than normal, but since we're only going to do one look a week between now and Christmas, and I think we'll do a special super hyper glam right before New Year's for you. I just wanted to take the time to do my whole face for you and let you see what I do. In the meantime, have a good week, and I'll see you Friday with a little mini tutorial. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I got to think about it. If you've got any ideas, leave a comment in the box below and let me know if there's something specific you want to see. I know I've kind of done eyebrows. Is there a specific technique that you're struggling with that you want to see? Leave a comment. Let me know. Is there something that you want to know? I'm here. I'm willing to show you. So till then, ta-ta.